What's up guys, SpongeBob Jr. here, and today we are checking out two upcoming X-Antibody Digimon, Craniamon X-Antibody and Gallantmon X-Antibody. So let's get into what they do so you can kind of plan your teams around them and figure out if you want to save for them, summon for them, use diamonds, you know, the whole thing. First up, we have one of my favorite X-Antibodies, super big Lynx vibes. If you guys played Lynx, the game that was the predecessor to Re-Rise, the X-Antibodies were insane. So Craniamon X had this skill that literally just shot down your whole team, and then you could run 3 copies of him, and yeah, it was terrible. He was a massive tank. That game was kind of broken at times, but it's really cool to see him back. I actually just wanted to summon for him just for that reason. I miss Lynx, and I know a lot of my fellow Lynx vets out there kind of feel the same, so huge nostalgia vibes with this guy. So he's got a really interesting setup. His passive skill, let's check that out. So he does minus 70% to all allies, to all enemies tech damage resistant, so that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty much the highest we've had so far in the supers. He has a 50% chance to poison the entire opponent's team, which is pretty sick. Just on game start, poison, done. And it's a 50% chance, so if you remember Pumpkinmon, Noble Pump, he's got a 50% status resistance reduction to the whole opponent's team. So running those two guys together, 100% chance to poison, and yeah, that's sick. So he also does 3 times damage to all enemies inflicted with poison. So that's pretty cool. And then he gets an auto revive with 50% HP one time. So really interesting setup he's got there. It definitely plays into the whole status meta that we've got going on. So Noble Pump plus MM plus Craniamon X. You're gonna have some fun there. So let's check out his EX. Let's see. So I don't even know how to pronounce that. It's in some weird language, something Waltz. I don't know. So he deals damage to random enemies 2 times, 2 targets at the same time. So that's gonna be like 2, total of 4. And it's 3x damage on crit. So, and then he also has 40% chance to inflict poison. So he does poison on all his moves, I think. Oh, it's actually just his EX and his main. So that EX has kind of a low multiplier. He does 417% damage. It's 3 times during crit, so that's like 1200. And then I think he also gets a bonus additionally for the poison. So he's going to be hitting pretty hard on that thing. So let's look at his main skill. Again, he has the same name for both. It's kind of annoying when they do that. But it's it hits random enemies 2 times, and it hits everybody at the same time. So that's going to hit the whole team twice. So this skill also removes evasion from the whole team, and it's got 30% chance to inflict poison again. So a little bit less percentage there in the poison, but if you're running like Noble Pump with him, that's still a 90% chance. So I'm sorry, 80% chance. That's pretty good. All right, so on to the sub skill, and just like MM, this one is kind of the key right here. So he hits 2 enemies for 1100 damage. That's a pretty solid hit. It decreases 2 enemies tech damage resistance by 90%. Cool. That's the highest that we've had so far. That's pretty sick. It increases all allies' critical rate by 60%. Pretty good. And it increases a devoted ally's tech by 25%, up to a maximum of 75% per use. So we got that tech stacking, and that is pretty cool right there. So he's buffing the whole devoted squad's power while reducing the opponent's resistance to tech. So the idea with this one is to make that poison hit a little bit harder because it's directly related to the character's tech in this case and the opponent's defense and tech damage resistance. I do think they kind of missed out on this one. They could have made it the whole team for the opponent, because that's kind of like his gimmick, right? He's supposed to hit everyone with poison and then be able to smack them with 3x damage. So it's kind of annoying that it's only for 2, but I mean, in Clash Battle, I could see this being pretty good. So that's it for Crania X's skills. As you can see, he's made to kind of just sit there and be spamming out the poison, hitting them with 3x damage. That's kind of the idea with this guy. So ideally, you'd want to pair him with any kind of status resistance reduction characters like Argo, who's also devoted, Noble Pumpkinmon, who's also devoted. So particularly with Noble Pump, he's going to be benefiting from Pump's passive to boost HP by 40%, allowing Crania to sit on your field longer and just continue dealing that damage. So it's a pretty cool setup. We haven't really seen anything like this before, but I don't know, pretty interesting. So even though this is a pretty cool setup and I really like this character, I have seen gameplay with him and he's doing his thing, you know, adding the status, adding like hitting. But at the same time, we have so many healers now. We have Noble Pump, who is going to be running rampant in a little bit. We have Sakuya, we have Cherubi, Evil One, and then we have even like Boncho Lily, sometimes you still see her. The idea is to be able to spam out status, right? But if we have so many healers that are just healing up, cleanse, it's going to make these matches draw out a little bit. So I'm kind of past the whole let's just sit here and duke it out for 6 minutes. Especially if you're trying to get into Master League and trying to gain some Master Medals. It's more of a race than an actual one-on-one PvP battle. It's not Lynx. As much as I would miss Lynx and as much as I would love to have Craniax back, I think I personally will be skipping him. But again, it's always up to you. Choose the characters that you like. If you have a setup that can benefit already, if you have MM, if you have Noble Pump, it could be a lot of fun. Alright, so on to the next one. So the next character is Gallantmon ExHjaðningavíg. So yeah, this guy is pretty sick. He was super hyped when he first dropped in his original form and he was pretty annoying. At that point we had a lot of meta changers dropping here and there. These days, there's kind of a place for every character, so I actually kind of like this better. There's not really anybody that's super game breaking at this point. So he is a super calm, kind of the logical next step from the original one. He was calm. So let's check out what he does. He's actually pretty similar to the original. So taking a look at his passive skill, kind of the calm version of Crania in some aspects. I see why they put these guys together. He boosts calm allies HP by 40%. So kind of see a trend going on here. He decreases all enemies block rate by 60%. So that's going to be kind of useful actually when we're dealing with the X spirals, those big boys that kind of have random things that they do that make it really tricky. As far as the supers go, we don't really have anybody, I think, yet at all that ignores block. So block is actually kind of good right now, especially when they boost the block rate. Yeah, you're hitting like with noodles. So he also nullifies shock, burn effects to all allies. That's all right. It's some good protection, you know, with all the status running around. Then he allows all allies to evade 2 times. Yeah, it's all right. It's not as good as it once was, but it's not bad either. I'll take it. So on to his EX skill. So he's going to be hitting 3 enemies individually 1 time. So 3 targets, 1 time each. It allows all allies to evade attacks 3 times for 10 turns, similar to his original form. And then he removes shock, paralysis, freeze, stun, sleep, poison, burn, error, fade. Oh, no skill lock or blind. So it's everything minus skill lock and blind. Okay, so on to the main skill. Again, same name. It hits 3 enemies with 840 damage. It deals damage to opponents and their shield. It's alright, it's nice. It allows allies to evade attacks 1 time. So again, slapping on another evade. It increases tech by 40% per use, up to 75%. So if he can spam that over and over, he's going to boost his tech permanently. And then he allows a calm ally to shield up to 8,000 damage. So that's pretty good. So my issue here is 840 to 3 enemies. That's not really a lot. And he doesn't have crit multipliers. So I don't know, we'll keep going. Sub skill. So this I do like. 2070% damage to a single enemy. So this is a Clash Battle nuke. I like that. It ignores damage limit, and it decreases a single enemy's defense by 70%. Hey! And it also decreases a single enemy's tech damage resistance by 80%. Clash Battle king right there. So I really like that sub skill. If you're able to pair it with some cooldown, like Super UV or even Gallantmon Crimson mode, which I use in Clash all the time still, you're able to spam that sub skill over and over and over, and it's going to keep hitting really hard. So to be honest, in my opinion, I think that's his best aspect. Overall, I'm really underwhelmed with Gallantmon X's skill setup. The original one was really annoying to play against. He kept spamming the evade, so back then we didn't ignore evades. He kind of did similar things, and it was really good. But I don't know, this one I'm kind of just not impressed by. His main and his EX skill, they're alright. I'm not saying they're terrible. But as far as like Battle Park goes, I don't think I'd really go for this guy. Clash Battle, on the other hand, that sub skill is sick. So it's going to be removing damage, it's going to be removing defense, it's going to be removing tech damage resistance, and it's going to be hitting super, super hard. So if you've noticed, some of the Clash battles lately have had some kind of deal where they are clearing your debuffs on them. So they are putting their defense and damage resistances back to normal levels. And it's making it hard to deal a lot of damage. So this guy takes care of that. So if you're able to pair him up with some cooldown, you can keep hitting that sub skill, and it's going to keep dropping the defense down as well as the tech damage resistance. And that's some high numbers right there. So if you're looking for a Clash Battle character that works well with tech and or calm, super calm characters, I'd definitely go for this. On the other hand, for Battle Park, he's alright. He's definitely not going to be meta changing. Like he's putting on a bunch of evades, great EX skills, bypass evades. Pretty much everybody has some main skill where they bypass limiters or evades. The sub skills are all clearing evades. So I mean, yeah, Susan clears evade with his sub skill. Magna does that with his main skill. So I mean, those are two meta units right there that are just, yeah. Evade's not even a thing anymore, really. It can be though, it can be. It can save you at last minute. So overall, I'm not going to be pulling. Well, the thing is, these guys are more than likely going to be coming in the same banner. So we've seen the X-Antibody banners have like a double setup, just like the last one. I'm pretty sure this is going to be the same thing because on the JP game, it was the same thing. So I'm going to probably be staying away from this banner if I can help it. If my nostalgia itch doesn't get too bad to grab, try for Crania X. These are pretty cool characters. I wouldn't say they're game breaking by any means, but if you are into the designs, you want a good Clash character or a interesting Battle Park character, I'd say they're pretty cool. Crania X also doesn't have any codes. You can just straight up awaken him max level without having any of his like unique codes. Yeah, so not a bad banner, but I am going to be saving for Imperial Dramon Paladin mode because on the JP side of things, he dropped pretty soon after everything that we've seen this month so far. So I'm interested in him. Some more nostalgia there. He's definitely one of my favorites, so I can't pass him up. But yeah, let me know if you're going to be summoning for these two guys. Let me know what kind of teams you want to run with them. Leave me a comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you've learned anything, I would greatly appreciate the subscribe and any likes you could spare. It helps this info get out to, anybody on YouTube looking to up their game in Real Rise. So as always, I appreciate you watching the video. Thank you so much for sticking around. Until next time, I'll see you in the Battle Park.